Thank you for joining. This is 2022 Year in Review, Predictions and Outcomes, brought to you by Brian of Gig Cleveland. Good evening. Thank you for joining Gig Cleveland here, and thank you for joining 2022 Year in Review, where I talk about the gig economy and what I predict and what the possible outcomes will be in the new year. Thank you again for joining me. Please go ahead and subscribe and like this channel. I do appreciate all of you joining. Hope you're having a very happy and healthy holiday out there wherever you're at. So today I'm kind of going to go over some things that are going on in the world and what it has to do with the next year. I did want to revise a couple things that I was going to go over when I said that the saturation point and that people think that the gig economy is pretty much done. I wouldn't say that so fast, but it's going to be a very interesting year. There's going to be a lot of ups. There's going to be a lot of downs. All right, well, let's get to work. All right, so basically what we're looking at here is the first quarter, pretty much between January, March to April. Obviously, it's going to be slower in some parts, in some markets, of course. That is going to be overshadowed by what is going on with Omicron, the variant for the COVID-19. Now, the CDC is predicting 15,000 deaths a week from this, starting in January 8th. And more than 160,000 illnesses or cases per day. Now, what does it have to do with us? Well, what that means is it's bad news for the country, but it's good news for us as delivery drivers, because what that means is that there's going to be more people at home, more people are going to be quarantined if they are exposed. So that means that there is a better chance of you getting better orders because they're going to be sick. Now, it's not a positive message, but I'm just saying statistically that's going to make a lot more sense. So I was revising it's going to be very slow in the first part of the year. I don't think it is compared to this. I pray I'm wrong. I'm praying that it is slow, and that's not an accurate number. But hopefully that's not correct. Hopefully there's not that many people dying. Hopefully it's not like that. But that is not necessarily a correlation to what I'm talking about. It's just statistics I'm looking at. There's no emotion here. I'm just looking at that. Now, if it's not as correct, I believe that you're still going to see an upswing because there's travel restrictions in the country. It's going to, people are staying in, they're not going to be going out. Plus, a lot of restaurants are closing earlier now, so people aren't going out like they used to. So I think the first part of the year, yeah, you're going to see people join a gym. They're not going to eat fast food anymore. They're going to try to lose weight. That'll probably last the first 18 days of January, because that's statistically how long people hold on to their New Year's resolutions. As far as the virus, you know, like I said, hopefully we can combat that and do really well and not have that. And we can, you know, beat this thing finally. Now, as far as other things, obviously taxes are due, so there's going to be a lot of slowdown from that. But towards February, March, you're going to see an upswing because people are going to be getting what? Their tax refunds. So they're going to be getting their tax refunds in February and maybe March, and that is going to create an upswing in orders there. Saturation, as far as that's concerned, is going to probably die down a little bit, just for the simple fact that I notice in the app lately that there's not as many drivers out there. Now, there is on certain days. Now, on the weekends, there's always drivers. But during the week, if you have the ability to work during the week, even if it's saturated during the weekends, that's where you can make your money. So always keep that in mind. So yeah, you taxes or whatever, that's going to help. April to June or July is going to be kind of lean, meaning it's going to be okay. But I think the big wild card or black swan event is if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates. If they raise interest rates, then all bets are off. You're going to see orders go down probably by 30 to 40%. Because right now, we're at 0%. If they raise us to just 2% interest rate, it's going to collapse the housing market, or at least drop the housing market by at least 40%. What that would mean is for the average American, they would not have as much disposable income because they're living off home equity lines of credit. They're living off all this cheap money. So if that is going to happen, that's the only way I would see it being a severe slowdown in those months. Summer, gonna be slow just because the virus, hopefully by then it'll run its course. People are gonna go out and about. It's probably gonna be the worst time is gonna be between July and September. That's gonna be a very lean time. I would say that's the worst part of the year. Again, yes, summer slowdown, I think it will be. Again, I think it's gonna be worse than last year because there's no stimulus, and plus too, if they raise interest rates, it's gonna be even worse in that period. So last one we talk about here is between October and December of 2022. That is gonna be a busy time because that is when everything is gonna go back to where it should be. And I think that once people recover and we get everything back down to where it needs to, you're gonna start to see an increase in orders again because of the holidays. So I would say the best months next year are gonna be between the month of February and May, and October through the beginning of next year. Worst times are gonna be between January and February, before taxes, and then between May 30th and of course September 15th. So those 4 months are gonna be terrible, but then you'll have 8 months of decent earnings. So if you're doing it full time, you're gonna have 8 months where you really should be working on, creating a passive income, creating some extra revenue, saving extra, buying things that you need in bulk. Work more of those times. When it's slower during the summer, kind of enjoy yourself, I would say, between those time periods. But honestly, I don't know how these companies are going to continue to do this if they're not making a profit. I guess that remains to be seen. As far as income in the last, as far as income wise, do I see an increase? I see a nominal increase of about 7.5% year over year. That seems like a lot, but inflation is going to be really high. I do see an increase in earnings from dashing of about 7.5 to 10%, just because to keep up with inflation. So if that means you were making, let's say, 20 bucks an hour, you'll be making 21 to 22.50 an hour. If you're making 15, anywhere between 15.75 and 16.50. That's on the low end, the mean. I think the low would be about 3 to 4%. The high would be about 10 to 11. There's still going to be an increase. There's still money to be made, but that's my prediction. So for me, year over year from my last job, I can't really say anything because I haven't worked a full year. But in the 9 months, if I extrapolate, I can talk. The earnings is $56,824.21, and that's working right around 35 hours a week to 38 hours a week, which isn't too bad. I mean, taxes and everything. This year I think I'm gonna end up not paying any federal tax because of the work I had to get done on my van. That's all tax deductible, the mileage. So I actually will not owe anything. I'll owe state, but not federal. So I do expect when the car gets fixed and when I get the Corolla, it'll go up about 4 to 7%. That's what I'm getting at right there. It could be better, it could be worse, but that's the mean. So what do we do? Well, is this something that's sustainable? I think if you have the ability to do other things besides food delivery, I would do it. Like if you can do Amazon Flex, or if you have a van like I do, or if you even have a car and you can do certain jobs for people and you can create your own business, I would suggest doing that, just because it's going to be a difficult time sometimes with the food apps. Like in the slow seasons, probably look to do more things that are not food related, like landscaping or Amazon Flex. I did that last summer. It was really good. It was very profitable for a few months. You know, now it's okay, but Black Friday was great. I mean, you can make a lot of money then. But so what else? Talked about inflation, Omicron, COVID, Fed raising rates. So I think that the overall picture is going to be slow growth to okay growth. It's not going to be exponential like it was in 2020. It's not going to be exponential like it was in the first part of 21, but it's going to be some. But unfortunately, hopefully, some of the statistics from the CDC is incorrect. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But anyways, that's what we're looking at here. My name is Brian with Gig Cleveland. This will pretty much be the last video I do for the remainder of the year. I might pop on with a short or something. I'm working on just revamping a lot of things in my house and everything. So I don't really have a lot of time for a lot of stuff to make new videos for the next week because I'm going to be doing some stuff around the house. I have to prepare a lot of things for certain family members, a lot of paperwork, a lot of, you know, errands to run. So this week I'm kind of going to chill out with the videos. I really have been posting 2 to 4 videos a week for the last, since the beginning of July, since I started the channel. But for the next, pretty much until January 2nd or January 1st, unless I feel like it, I will post no more videos until then, hopefully, because I need to get some stuff done because I do love doing this, but it takes me a ride along. That's why I'm trying to do more, but it takes me almost 3 hours to edit a ride along. These are pretty easy, only take about an hour, but if I'm editing stuff, it takes a long time. And just imagine if you do 25 ride-alongs at 3 hours a piece, that's 80 hours. And as much as I love doing it, it is time consuming. So I have to kind of balance it out. I've neglected a couple other things, not because of the videos, but just because just dashing and working 6 days a week, I've kind of neglected some things I do have to take care of. Like I have to go to the dentist and get some teeth cleaning. I have to go to the doctor. I have to get my booster. I have to do all these things. So you guys have a great new year. I love you all. God bless.